Huge development on the campaign trail where an interview with the San Francisco Chronicle from earlier this year could sway last-minute voters across the Midwest. Now, in that interview, Senator Obama describes the cap-and-trade emissions policy that he was to enact as president and says it will bankrupt coal power plants.
What I've said is that we would put a cap-and-trade system in place that is as aggressive, if not more aggressive, than anybody else's out there. I was the first to call for 100% auction on the cap-and-trade system, which means that every unit of carbon or greenhouse gases was emitted would be charged to the polluter. That will create a market in which whatever technologies are out there that are being presented, whatever power plants that are being built, that they would have to meet the rigors of that market and the ratcheted down caps that are imposed every year. So if somebody wants to build a coal power plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
Now, there were thousands of coal workers in states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia, but Obama doesn't stop there. Now, speaking to all Americans, he warns that under his administration, energy prices, get this, will, quote, skyrocket.
You know, when I was asked earlier about the issue of coal, under my plan of a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
The Obama camp is going nuts. They're absolutely lying and spinning. I've read the entire San Francisco Chronicle comments from beginning to end, and what they're saying about this is total fabrication. But he's saying, look, if someone wants to build a coal plant, they can build it, but we're going to bankrupt them because it has to be changed because of greenhouse gases. Under my plan, a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates will necessarily skyrocket.
Right.
The impact on blue-collar jobs, the middle class, the coal industry, electricity rates.
Right.
And, of course, it's been suppressed up until now.
Yeah, no, of course it has been. We have to wait for Sean Hannity to come on air to find out anything about the potential next president of the United States. If one of our enemies had said this, we're going to bankrupt, reduce coal production in America, we could get a resolution from the UN. It would be a declaration of war. We're in the middle of an energy crisis. Half of our energy is supplied by coal, and he's saying we're going to bankrupt the coal companies. And lest anyone think that this is just a slip of the tongue, I don't know how it could possibly be a slip of the tongue, but this is the precise agenda.
We've got a guy that now has said that, all right, rich is defined as 300,000, 250. Biden says 150, and then we had Governor Richardson say 120. He voted to raise taxes on people that make $42,000 last year. He breaks his pledge on issues like public financing. He still had a lot of money. Now he's promising Americans, number one, that blue-collar jobs, what industry is next? We're going to go after the steel industry if he decides he doesn't like what they're doing. Now he's saying to an industry, we will bankrupt you, even though and he's guaranteeing electricity prices will skyrocket. How do you then make the case here for the middle class?
Sean, I'm on a satellite. Did he actually, I heard his voice. That was his voice saying those things?
Yeah, that was his voice, yes.
My God, I'll tell you what, my question is, where has this been? This is Sunday night before the election. Where has this been?
Well, let me give some credit, by the way.
This is, by the way,
Michelle Malkin, Hot Air had it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the Midwest, this could be significant. I just think it's now very late. I'm sitting here, you can knock me over with a feather, frankly. I mean, what I just heard him say would be devastating, but it's Sunday night. Well, I don't understand where the Republican research has been, where everybody's been.
Right. Well, let me go to Ann about this, because this is important. We're talking about bankrupting the coal industry, and he's willing to do it. He's saying electricity is going to skyrocket. What about steel workers? What about auto workers? What about people in Ohio, Virginia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Missouri? How is this going to impact middle class?
Not only their jobs, but paying for energy. We were already headed for an energy crisis. If I could just